In response to a parliamentary question, Health Minister Dr Joe Phaahla has revealed that there are over 2,000 unclaimed bodies in South African mortuaries. The reply also revealed that KwaZulu-Natal is the province with the highest number of bodies that remain unclaimed. Now, to discuss this, I'm now joined by Deputy Minister of Health, Dr. Sibongiseni Dhlomo. Doctor, welcome. DM, thank you so much for your time. Now, this matter is in the news once again. Why is it not going away?
Good morning, ma'am, and good morning to our viewers. I was just discussing with the minister that maybe this is a matter that will need an interministerial committee, because it touches these various departments. And in my outline to you, you'll see what really I mean. There is a Minister of Police, Minister of Health, the Ministry of Home Affairs, Ministry of COPTA, Ministry of Justice and the Constitutional Development. Let me start then give you the scenario. It will not go away because what happens, in fact, if you look into the statistics of the murders, and if you were to speak to a Minister of Health, Minister of Police, he will tell you that the most murders, unnatural deaths are taking place in KwaZulu-Natal in certain pockets of the province. And therefore, what we do receive as health are these unnatural deaths of stabs, gunshots, motor vehicle accidents, and they are brought into our mortuaries as therefore there's an inquiry that is actually brought up by the police. So the police will have to investigate and see who actually burnt that house, people died there, or what was a car accident caused, all that. So we keep them in our mortuaries, do post-mortems, with the hope that the police who's investigating or a family will come forward and therefore indicate this is our body, let's take this family and go and bury. Those things therefore will have to happen within 30 days. Because by law, after 30 days as a Department of Health, we need to really make sure we dispose of those bodies. Now, if they don't come through as it is happening, over 2,000 bodies are there now, you will then have to approach a municipality, a mayor, a local municipality and say, please, can you give us a space to go and do what we call underground storage? Papa's funeral. We do what we call underground storage so that that Mulefe family is buried there, that Dhlomo family, or that body unidentified is buried there. In the event 2, 3, 4 years later, someone said that was our relative who got burnt into that house. Now we know, please, can you identify where that person was buried? So it means you need a land, you need municipalities, and right now there's a struggle whether people who want to bury their relatives do get a space to bury.
All right. Before we talk about the space and the land that's required to bury those who will eventually become identified, Deputy Minister, if you could just explain to me, how long can a body remain in the mortuary unidentified?
It should look. No. For us, the body we are actually expected to have it kept in our mortuary for 30 days.
Okay,
after 30 days.
And then,
yes.
Deputy Minister, just to be clear, let's say after 30 days now you have to move, if I'm understanding you correctly, and make a decision that now this body will be given a pauper's burial. I would imagine that records are kept, the blood samples, DNA. How long are they then stored by the state so that if, let's say, a family member shows up after 10 years or 20 years, do you exhume the body? What happens then?
The records of the blood samples, every specimen taken is actually taken to the laboratory, and those records are kept electronically. So there's no problem with that. You can come anytime, and actually the specimens kept. If after 15, 10 years, you come and say, I suspect it was my relative, you take a sample from that relative and match it with what we have in the laboratory, which were already been processed 15 years ago. And if it matches, then the body that will then have to go and exhume. That is why we call it underground storage. We are storing these bodies underground, Papa's funeral, within a particular municipality. They must designate an area we go and get the bodies to be buried there so that it could be easily identified that, yes, this matches with this Molife family body, or this matches with this Dhlomo family body that was buried at this area and not on this area.
And with KZN having the highest number of unclaimed bodies, and as you've indicated that many of the deaths are due to unnatural causes, the stabbings, the gunshots, what is it looking like in the other provinces in terms of causes of death?
The causes of deaths, of course, like we are putting it, I would imagine of these 1,330 of these KZN bodies, more than half of them is related to stabs or gunshots. And the balance will be motor vehicle accidents, hangings, and all that. But the hangings are very easy because somebody was hanged in that tree. The village might know that friend belongs to this family. So is this unnatural deaths of big issues like gunshots, families, villages where there's a big, massive gunshots and motor vehicle accidents. The other provinces is still the same scenario. Look, the issue of motor vehicle accidents in the country remains one of the burden that many people don't even know. It is such a huge burden on health, even in terms of ICU beds and all that. But actually, some of them therefore end up dying, and then they are taken by the police from that scene of accident into our own mortuaries, and therefore the scene might be similar.
All right. So, Deputy Minister, let's talk very briefly about the solutions. I understand that there's been a biometric system that was introduced by Gauteng Health to assist with regards to the identification of bodies. Has this helped to alleviate at least the pressure of the number of bodies that have not been identified or collected by the families?
Yes, look, that is why I'm actually saying also another contributing factor will be Home Affairs, because if actually I was once having my ID and my fingerprints taken by the Home Affairs, then it may easily be able to trace that one. But if for whatever reasons I'm a foreign national, my fingerprints are not there in the database, then that might probably even begin to assist us to say, it means all those whose fingerprints are not in the database, therefore probably are foreign nationals. But that's not an answer, because you don't know who is a foreign national from which part of the world. But at least it might actually assist us. Look at the incident that was happening by the Limpopo Department of Health with the demise of quite a lot of Botswana citizens. That process has gone very seamlessly, because even some of the bodies that were not identifiable because they were severely burned, we could then be able to take a DNA sample of that charred body and compare it with another Molife who says it was one of my relatives, and therefore there's been an easy match.
That is a wonderful place to end it. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. Deputy Minister, thank you so much for the information. Thank you for the education. And we certainly do believe that you'll improve on the services, as there are attempts every single day to try and lessen the number of unidentified bodies that are sitting in the mortuaries. That was Deputy Minister of Health, Dr. Sibongiseni Dhlomo.